Good morning, Inoxicans. I'm here at the office. I wanted to share something with you that I think is really important, something on my mind, and it's about learning. If it's anything that I've learned in the last 12 months of us going from very difficult times to far better times, is that I'm learning everything is about learning. On a personal level, I've been learning a huge amount. And when I focus on thinking about my journey as one of a learning experience where I'm going through struggles and I'm getting better, but it's a focused, directional learning. And then I've been thinking about that actually applies the same to our business. We are a organization whose function it is to learn. We learn together, we learn with our clients, we learn how to solve a problem. That is effectively what gives us a reason for being. We're not just here to sell a product, we're not just here to solve a problem, we're actually here to continue to learn about the problems that our customers have and make something for them or deliver something for them or improve something for them. But there's something really fundamental, and I'm going to use this word, there's something devastating about learning that if you don't see it or you don't know it, it is a devastating thing not to have. And if you do have it and you do understand it, you will be devastating in what you can do. Let me explain this. It's a bit like compound interest, and I'm going to give you more simple examples. But compound interest on a bank account means that over years you will generate fantastic returns. And the higher the interest that you get, the better your returns will be on your money. But let's think about our life as a series of decisions, right? I've got my time. I can choose to play video games or I could study, right? That's like one decision that you can make, right? I can choose to sit on the couch and watch TV and football, or I could pick up and read a book. So life is a series of decisions, and you're deciding what to do with your time. We're not really in a situation anymore where we are doing physical labor. So when I think about hard work, what is it that I'm really saying? Oh, I worked hard. It's just you chose to spend more of your time on a particular thing, right? You chose to spend your time on trying to solve a certain problem in maybe in a work environment, but you could be working on your own things, right? We are always spending time. Time is ticking on, it's going past, it never stops. And every minute that we have, we are making a decision of what to do with our time. So put that one side. But if you think about learning now, I'll give you an example of learning is like adding technology to your brain, to your capability. I grew up on a farm, and if you think about the farming environment, it's nice because it's quite physical. You can think about the outcomes. So there's a case, let's say you plant a field of 100 cabbages. Okay, let's say you don't have much technology. You plant manually and you reap manually, and you don't do anything specific to that field, right? So you're a very basic farmer, which is fine. You can reap your 100 cabbages, but you probably need, let's say this, you need 10 people to plant and you need 10 people to reap it. So there's a fair bit of effort. Now, learning or technology, it's not adding to what you do. It's not saying, well, now you do 150 cabbages. Actually, what technology is, think about this, it's a multiplicator. And learning is a multiplicator. So if I add technology to this field of cabbages, I can plant the field of 100 and I can reap the field probably with one person. Okay, if I had a tractor. Great. So add technology, I multiply my productivity by 10. Wow. Okay, so let's say I do that in year 1. I multiply my productivity by 10. Year 2, I learn about fertility of the soil and I realize, geez, I need to get fertilizer. So I invest in a bit of knowledge around fertilizer and I add that to my field. And instead of getting, cabbages that are 1 kilogram each, I get cabbages that are 3 kilograms each. So every cabbage that I reap is 3 times bigger in the same amount of time. It didn't take more time, same amount of time, and I get 3 kilogram cabbages. So I get 3 times the output for the same amount of work. And if I did the tractor and the fertility with fertilizer, I get 30 times the output. Think about that. I could choose to work 30 times harder. Let's say I plant 30 fields of 100 cabbages each. That is hard work, but not using learning or technology. Or I can apply my time and in the same amount of time and effort produce 30 times what I produced. Guys, look around you. Look around you. There are people in this world who are extremely productive. And it's not because they work, 150 hours a week. They physically can't. Maybe they work a little bit harder than you. But what they are doing mostly is learning tremendously fast. They are adding to their skills and their capabilities tremendously quickly. And they're making themselves extremely productive by multiplying what they do. It's not addition. Don't think of learning as something like, oh, well, I have to do more work and I add more time. It's the same amount of time, but you make every minute that you spend in your life that much more productive. And it's not small amounts, guys. It's huge. The difference is massive. I want to just refer to you guys, like we have here our Library of Excellence. Okay, well, I must admit it's rather small. But most of the books don't move. Most of the books have been here forever. I don't know how many of you guys have actually taken time to read any of these. I'm reading a book all the time. I could do better. I know that in the past I could have learned probably faster at certain times, but I've always been learning and improving. And there are things which I've been learning in the last 2 years that have made huge step changes. Right? And you guys are seeing that in the business. So, some of it's coming from sort of my personal level of how I manage, trying to do better in those things. Others are how we think about the world. But the power of thinking better, the power of having a greater skill set and capabilities is not small additions. It doesn't mean you go from being somebody who earns 10,000 Rand a month to somebody who earns 15. No, you go from 10,000 to 100,000. Right? These are multiplication factors. There are huge differences between, in the long run, people who learn fast and people who learn slow or do not learn at all. And it's the same for organizations. And this is where it's coming to. I want us all to think about the capabilities that we bring together as an organization, and the speed with which we learn as an organization is the telling factor. We can defeat the biggest companies in our industry in the world if we learn faster than them. Think about that. We can defeat an Experian, a TransUnion, a Dun & Bradstreet globally if we can learn faster than they can. That is the currency today that really matters. That is what really defines and differentiates successful businesses that are advancing, that are disrupting, and those that are staying in the status quo. It's their ability as an organization to learn. The products are an outcome. The benefits that you can give your customers are an outcome of what you've learned. So we need to step up our learning and be faster than anybody else out there at how we consume knowledge, how we think about these things, how we implement them, and we're learning all the time. That's why, you guys will see things around this fly swaths coming up, right? We've been thinking this year about let's make things that help us to learn faster, right? I'm not going to go into the details of the fly swath now, but it's emblematic of how I want us to think. We need to learn as fast as possible. I hope you guys can come with me on this. Like, we really, all of us need to say to ourselves, the speed at which I'm learning is affecting the speed at which the organization learns, and that affects how far we get every year. Right? If we can grow our learning by 5% every year, that's not bad. If we can grow it by 10%, that means if you grow by 10%, it means in 7 years you will double your learning. That's what compound interest does. So if somebody else doesn't grow and you grow by 10%, you will be double what they are in 7 years' time. I want us to grow at rates like 30, 40%, 100%, 200%, whatever it is. It needs to be extremely rapid. In this phase, it's so important that we all have that mindset and we go for this. Okay, guys, think about it. Learning multiplies yourself, multiplies the organization. It's not addition. It is devastating. The difference between those who learn faster and those who learn slower in a couple of years is so big. The slow guys, unfortunately, don't make it. You have to keep learning. Great, guys. Thank you. Let's see what we can do about this. Cheers.